action!
Hi, my name is Sahana. In my YouTube series, Time to Shine, I set out on a mission to spotlight different experiences and perspectives of people of all ages to inspire you, my audience, to dig deeper and find your true calling in life. Welcome back. I'm your host, Sahana, and thank you for following along with my conversation with Dan Lakis. In this segment, we find out about his teaching philosophy, the best and worst part about being a teacher, and more. What is your teaching philosophy?
Yeah, I think not like a manifesto or a one-line thing where I could say like, this is what I think. But in general, what I talk to students a lot about is, it's about student learning, not about student scores, right? So certainly my philosophy is about it's about having the students be empowered to take ownership of their own education, right? And start to, strategize and think about how they can show up. Not that this is a task that must be accomplished, but that this is a part of their development and that it's a choice that they make. So like for me, it's about developing or talking to the student really about, the content within the class. So a geometry class, absolutely, we're talking geometry, and I'm wanting the knowledge transfer of as much geometry as I know I want to have the student gain through their own work or through coaching or through directing them into it, but also how to be in a class, how to take notes, the perspectives to come in with, how we take feedback. So I talk a lot about that with students. If somebody forgets their homework, right? The first one for me would be like, okay, what happened? It's okay, like that's not the outcome we wanted, but what happened? And what sorts of switches could you make to make sure it doesn't happen again? And have the student take that kind of decision on their own and try to solve their own problem. If it continues, of course, I'll support them more, bring in other people who care about them, their parents, to help support the student. But a lot of trying to have the students be owners of their own education and really improving the whole student as opposed to what they can do with me as support is not the same as what they can do, right? Are they able to problem solve? Are they able to figure out how to get things done, manage their own time? Are they able to solve the problems? Are they able to redirect their attention from being distracted to come back to class? Are they being the student that they want to be within the class? So I talk a lot about that, and I think that's a big piece of the philosophy. I think high amount of rigor, low pressure, right? So high rigor, we're pushing, we're going for new frontiers, big sense of possibility within each subject, what's possible, and really driving students to the frontier of what they're capable of doing. But under a situation where it's like, if you make a mistake, totally cool. Let's chat about it and let's figure out whether there's something that you misunderstood or something I didn't explain very well. Let's figure that out and move forward together. So yeah, high rigor, low pressure, developing not just the content knowledge, but also some structures and ways of being within the class that I think will help students as they move forward.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that the way that we should, like as a student, the way that we should approach learning is not because we have to, but because I want to. So definitely, I agree with that.
I think, and it kind of like what we talked about earlier. I think for me growing up was a lot of, I have to do this for somebody else, but really when, for me in college and after, once I owned it and decided that this was an important thing that I wanted to do, it takes on a whole new meaning, right? It's not a task, it's a thing we get to do. So
yes, definitely. How do you motivate your students to learn?
It's a tricky one, right? Like, so motivation most of the time I think can come internally. Most kids want to learn is my experience. And maybe it's the students that we work with, but like the students want to learn, and allowing them the like freedom and the safety to just pursue it when it's framed right, and they know that however you do is going to be great, and wherever you're at is totally fine, and we just want to improve and move, like expand what you're capable of doing each day. Kids are motivated into that. There's all sorts, right? Like, I mean, think about it. There's positive. You can basically, I forget the technical terms for it. You can give something good, right? You can give a reward. That can be motivating. You can take away something good, right? That would be negative. A negative. You can take away something good. You can take away something bad, or you can give something bad. Those are kind of your four options for helping with motivation. What I've always found is the positive reinforcement is the best. So out of those, but there's a time for all. but in general, supportive and really kind of supporting kids into growing into it, but also finding the things that students are interested in, right? That can help, and then helping them align with what they're doing now to where they want to go. I think when the day-to-day task of being in a math class may sometimes feel disconnected from if you wanted to become a doctor, right? I'm in a geometry class, I want to be a doctor. So helping them see that path towards where that, each step that you make today is going to help you get to the long-term goal. I think those are a couple of the different things that we can work on.
Yeah.
But in general, students are motivated. They want to do good.
Definitely. I feel like that way of approaching teaching gets a student farther than telling them that they have to do this to get good grades. What is the best/worst thing about being a teacher?
Yeah, so the best is definitely watching and kind of being a part of a young person's development, right? Like we had our first student actually that came through Ad Astra, applied to college, got into college, the college of their choice, got into the programs that they wanted, everything great. But like to know that I had a part in that feels so good. I love it. I love seeing where they can go and what they're doing, and that's a meaningful place to be and something that I'm like proud to work in that space and help others. So that's the best part. Working with my colleagues, I think they're amazing. Tara, Dr. Rose, and Mr. Don are just amazing people. So that's definitely one of the best. And then all of the other people we work with too. Those are the co-founders of the school. We have many other teachers who come into the school, and just the energy and the different experiences and different knowledge they've got is so fun to be in that interchange. I think those are kind of, but certainly the student part is for me the biggest. The worst part, what's coming to mind, and it feels like kind of like I'm not answering the question, but like the tough conversations for me, we used to feel the worst where I had to where we would go and have the hard conversations with students. But as I've realized going forward, it's actually the thing that I can do is caring the most for a student is to have the hard conversation or to sit down with them. And so that is no longer it. Those ones, it's not necessarily the most enjoyable experience to have a hard conversation, but knowing that is the thing that is the most important and is really a way that I can show the most care for a student is by doing the thing that's not the easiest. So that feels a little bit like not answering the question, because I actually see that as a big positive now. But yeah, I'm not sure. The worst, yeah, I don't know. I overall really love work. It doesn't feel that way. I've had other jobs that feel, I don't ever have a feeling of getting up in the morning and not wanting to go in or not wanting to do it. I feel really passionate about what I'm doing. So the worst part, I'm not sure.
That I really like that, because seeing someone becoming great things, and you could just say I was part of that journey. I can't even imagine how that feels.
The students are, I think, very each student I think is so special, just to be able to, they're doing it, right? It's not my doing that they got these students where they're at. It's them and their hard work and the family values and the support they've gotten. But to just be a person who came in and helped kind of push in the right direction. Very proud to just be a little piece of that.
Definitely, I agree with that. What should students from this generation be taught or focusing on to be prepared for the future? Because I know that people from from my mom's generation might not have had to focus on the same things that I have to focus on.
I think it's another really great question. To know what, you got to start at the very beginning, right? And in general, I think as a school, we do a really good job of this. We take first principles thinking, but go back to the beginning, right? So the question of what they should learn is what do they want to accomplish when they're done with their schooling, right? And if we take the path of productive contributor to society, or a leader, or a decision maker, or a problem solver in the future, if that's where we want to, the students what the students want to become, then I think we think through what sorts of problems they'll be solving in the future, right? And that is a question I have no idea about, right? There's so many technologies that are changing: artificial intelligence, space travel, nanotechnology, right? There's genetic engineering. There's so many technology, climate change. There's things going on that we don't know where they're going to be. So I think an investment in those sorts of, the things that will support being able to make decisions in those game-changing future technologies, I think are important. Maybe not in first, second, third grade, but as you get further along. But the other thing that I think, one that I've been focusing on for our students, is the ability to take on something new and incorporate it, and then really be able to use that going forward. So not being afraid of a new application or a new technology, or, we play a lot of games at the school. Synthesis, Mr. Don designs these awesome games or a project that we'll make where we kind of introduce something brand new and then have the students incorporate it and be able to play the game or do the analysis going forward. But the ability to quickly kind of incorporate new knowledge and then use it going forward, I think, is an important skill to develop, because who knows what sorts of applications or what sorts of things will change as computers get more powerful, or as we unlock interplanetary travel, what sorts of things will come up. But those will be changes, and if somebody can incorporate the changes, take the new information, and then be able to absorb it and apply it and move forward, I think that's a skill worth developing, as opposed to, I have my things, I feel comfortable here, these are the things I'm going to do. I think being able to very easily add things and experiment and feel comfortable in that change, I think, is an important one. On top of I think the skills that would be necessary, even the interpersonal skills and all of those things that are going to be necessary for teamwork, and I think in general, thinking through where we're going to go, what we want to accomplish in that future, and then what sorts of skills are going to support that as best we can guess. Because, when I was growing up, when I was your age, like, I had a pager, right? If you know what a pager is. Yeah, and now, like, everybody's got cell phones and they're super powerful. So the same exact sort of technological transformation over the next 20 years. So I think being able to incorporate the new stuff will be an important one.
I guess, like, having an open mind to things that you might need to add on to be successful in the future, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, what I've seen is that technological advancements are happening quicker. The little ones, I found myself like, why did, an iWatch or whatever the next thing is, being able to use those things and then move forward with it. So like in 20 years, I have no idea what it's going to look like. I have some ideas, but really I don't feel comfortable in predicting anything.
Yeah.
But,
basically, anything's possible in the next few decades, I guess.
Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to check out the rest of the interview on my channel. Bye!